Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and this is not a drill. Apparently, there is a Sims live-action movie in the works. Now, this is something I personally don't think anyone could have called. I mean, it's definitely something that I've seen Simmers discuss over the years. Obviously, they have delved into other medias outside of games. I mean, I was part of The Sims Sparked, which feels like an absolute fever dream. That was over on BuzzFeed. It was also shown on TV, and it was basically like the Great British Bake Off when it came to The Sims. It was kind of them diverting into sort of a more like competitive Sims run. But of course, this is a trend that we've been seeing for a while now. Obviously, a lot of games have TV adaptations now. They also have film adaptations. We recently just got Mario. If I have one request for the Sims film, it is please do not let Chris Pratt play a character. I don't need to hear his voice anymore. Even if you sign him on to play like a talking toilet, just don't do it. We don't need it. There are other actors, I promise you. But today, I wanted to sit down and kind of discuss some ideas, maybe where this film could go, predictions, and personally what I want to see. Now, it's no surprise at all that I and a bunch of other Simmers, I actually tweeted this. It better give me answers to Bella Goth's disappearance. And you could say that got a fair bit of love. Seems like I wasn't the only one who wanted answers on where Bella Goth was. But of course, that is pretty deep Sims lore. I know it feels very like surface level when it comes to us as Simmers. Like, we have been wondering about this mystery since The Sims 2. Why was she not there? Don Lothario, the Caliente sisters, Strangerville, Belladonna Cove. Like, it's all very, very weird, and it's very bizarre circumstances. And I personally would love it if it was like a detective film looking into the disappearance of Bella Goth. I personally don't think it's gonna be that. I definitely think that like Bella could do a cameo, and I think it would be silly for anyone who is creating this film to not pay attention to that lore and kind of give head nods to those characters and those really in-depth storylines that we as Simmers absolutely love. But obviously, you also want it to appeal to the outside community. Whenever I introduce myself at like conventions or anyone asks me like what games I play online and I tell them The Sims, almost everyone has the same reaction, and it's always like, oh, I absolutely loved The Sims when I was growing up. Like, I haven't played it in a really long time, but it feels as if almost everyone has like touched or played this game in some form, in some part of their life. So I definitely feel like they probably want to broaden the horizon of The Sims, whilst I would love it to be really in-depth in lore. But like I said, definitely cameos, head nods to the franchise in general, the chaos that The Sims can bring. Obviously, a lot of people, when I say I play The Sims, are like, oh, the pool ladders. I'm like, that's not even a thing. We've evolved since the pool ladders. Now we actually have to physically build a wall around the pool. Now, not only did my mind go to the rich and deep Sims lore when I first read this, but it also obviously went to films that we have seen recently. By the way, I forgot to mention, but this is the same production team that did Barbie. Margot Robbie's production company is the one who apparently has the rights to this Sims film, so I do think that they are gonna do justice. But obviously, Barbie came to mind. Even like without Margot Robbie, I feel like that would have come to mind, because that was kind of Barbie realizing that Barbie world wasn't just her world. Like, she was connected to the human world, and humans have power over Barbies and like what they get up to in their everyday lives. Obviously, that is very similar to The Sims. I also thought Truman Show. Any kind of simulation movie that we've seen in the past where everyone gets in their cars at the same time every morning to go to work, bring me back the sloppy jalopy. I want someone out there so angry, like honking their horn at you at 6 a.m. to get you to work on time. But the premise of a sim finding out that they're a sim, that the plumbob controls them, trying to find the science behind the plumbob, definitely feels like a very realistic storyline for them to probably go down when it comes to a Sims film. However, I don't know if I'm super excited about that, to be honest. Like, it feels as if like Truman Show, other simulation, I am thinking of a recent one, but I don't want to give spoilers in case people haven't seen it. But that's the thing, it feels so recent that it doesn't really feel like it's gonna be used as a plot twist in a Sims. Like, that just feels as if you're gonna go into this film knowing exactly what it's about. I mean, they could figure out how to like get out of the simulation, but I just feel like it would be too close to Barbie. Obviously, this isn't gonna come out for a fair few years, so we are gonna have a little bit of a break between them. I just don't want it to feel like every other film that we've had of that nature. I mean, it definitely could go the other way where they figure out how to control other Sims, and I do think that would be a fun spin on it, because like I said, obviously you have the chaos of the Sims. Some of the biggest challenges within the Sims community are those ones that bring death upon Sims, or bring like many babies upon Sims. And imagine if someone figured out that they were a Sim and they were like, wait, I can use this power for evil and I can control the people around me. Now that's personally a film that I would love to see. I think that makes it a little bit more new. I feel like it makes it a little bit more interesting. That kind of ties into maybe them basing it off like challenges or scenarios that we already have within the game. Although I definitely feel like they would need permission from like the original creators, and sometimes it's actually really hard to find where a Sims challenge like fully originated from, because some of these challenges that we do in the community have like existed since The Sims 2. So I don't really think that is possible, but I do think it would be really nice if they gave little head nods to the challenges that the community have come up with over the years. For example, like legacy challenges or like 100 baby challenges, even if it just like references like one tile homes that people create to make their Sims suffer. Like, I just think having those little head nods in the background. Simmers love Easter eggs. Like, obviously we love the small little details. We love the deep lore that not only The Sims itself has, but also what the community has made around this game. There's definitely a way that you can make the Sims community feel like they have been a part of it by giving them those little nods of acknowledgement to be like, we see you, we love what you're doing. Even if it's just a shot of like going past a window and it's like one Sim with like loads of babies around them. Another idea that I think is a really fun way to lean into like the chaos and disruption that Simmers can cause in a save file would be a murder mystery type deal, or like a horror spoof. Now obviously The Sims is a 12+. I assume that the film is probably gonna be a 12A because it's probably gonna have crude humor. We're gonna have like blurred pixelation of like woohoo or nudity, and I think they can definitely get away with those two themes under like a 12A rating. I just think a murder mystery like it was Nancy Landgrab in the study with death by electrocution, or Don Lothario on the balcony with a telescope would be so cool. Honestly, I would slap my money down to go see that film straight away. I think they could play it up so much. I think it's the perfect way to get in a bunch of different like towny cameos while still having like original characters that maybe the player has created as like the detective or something like that. And then you could also tie in the elements of like the iconic Sims deaths that obviously like the wider audience knows. I think it's honestly the perfect idea for a Sims film. We even got a few years ago a leak. It turned out to not be a real leak, but people thought that the next game pack or expansion pack, I can't remember which one it was meant to be, was gonna be a sort of like story-based murder mystery. What if it wasn't ever fake? Maybe it was just like a script for a Sims movie that has only been announced, what, 4 years later? Because I'm fairly sure that was during the pandemic. Keep in mind, this film needs to go through development. Like, we've literally only just got rumors that it's being made and that they have the rights to it. And finally, I do think that they could maybe take something that we have within the game that feels like a big thing for your Sim to achieve and maybe introduce that into the film. So just for example, I wrote down a couple of things like aiming to get the Book of Life as an author, or traveling to Sixim as an astronaut. Those don't really feel like big movie, like blockbuster Barbie ideas to me, but it definitely could bring on some inspiration for kind of different scenes and different places that they could travel. Honestly, right now, the murder mystery idea is like up there for me. I just think everything about The Sims could be perfect for a murder mystery. And even though there are tons of like murder mysteries out there, I think the iconic pillar that The Sims holds with like all the ways that a Sim can pass away, even the more slightly ridiculous ones like cooking a Pufferfish Nagiri wrong, and then also the Murphy beds, I think it would get the humor that the Sims franchise honestly has been missing a little bit in The Sims 4, and I would like to see return. Also, I have to thank you for making this be the tweet that blew up around the Sims film. I very much appreciated it. But speaking of that horror spoof, it is the same production company who did Saltburn. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But I would love to hear all of your ideas. Usually at the beginning of the year, I ask over on Twitter and also on Instagram and in my YouTube comments, like, if there are any ideas that you think are coming up for the next year, let me know and I'm gonna react to them. I might honestly do it with the comments of this video and react to your ideas about a Sims movie, because I have a feeling the Sims community is just absolutely gonna run away with this. Again, I feel like I have to give the disclaimer that I always give on like ideas, videos, or predictions. I'm not trying to get anyone's hopes up. I love speculation. Hello, I'm a simmer, I'm a Swiftie. Of course, I love a little bit of speculation. I am gonna let my imagination run away with things because that's what I have fun with. I'm not like demanding these things. I'm not saying this is exactly what's coming, so get excited for it. These are purely just ideas that I think could work well in the universe of The Sims when it comes to a blockbuster film. I'm really excited to follow along with the development of this. I think it's gonna be a really nice little switch up away from like the game, but definitely leave all of your thoughts, feedback, theories down below. I would absolutely love to hear all your opinions on this. This genuinely feels like some of the biggest news we Simmers have got for a really, really long time. And I imagine it's gonna be quite an exciting time for us all. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to all my ideas. I appreciate you always, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.